Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope you had a great Sunday and a great weekend. Well, today we've been getting so many questions over the last couple of months about milk. Should my child have milk? Should my sister or my brother have milk? I have a mom or dad who's suffering from cancer, diabetes, or heart disease, and all of these issues. Should we give up milk? Should we give up dairy? Well, today I thought it's very, very important to address this topic on milk. Number one, the vision of this video is very, very clearly, not meant to put fear in you. Because let's get one point straight. There are many, many people who consume milk and who give their children milk, and they're absolutely healthy without any health problems at all. And then there are many, many, many people suffering from diseases. And I made a list of the diseases over the last few years where we removed milk and dairy from their diet and they started healing, they started getting better, and a lot of them actually no longer have that disease again. So the vision of the video today is not to tell people or instill fear into people and say just stop milk, because then there are so many parents out there with the next genuine question: what do we feed our infants? What do we feed our toddlers? What do we feed our children? Yes, there are many, many substitutes available, which we will discuss today. But the idea is to create awareness about dairy, because each and every one of you watching this may have some particular disease that you're suffering from, or some of you may be struggling to lose weight, some of you have arthritis, some of you have leukemias and cancer, some of you may have cardiovascular problems and diabetes and lupus and autoimmune disorders. And in this endeavor to constantly, find solutions over and above just medicine, we have to explore certain things in our diet. Today, our mind pattern when it comes to healing is: what do we add to our diet? What medicine do we take? What protein shake do we take? What supplements do we take? What vitamins do we take? But a lot of human bodies heal with not just adding stuff to your diet, but sometimes just eliminating. Eliminating also leads to healing. For example, how do you heal a gut that's damaged? How do you heal a leaky gut syndrome? It's not by adding constant probiotics and vitamins and minerals and fiber-rich foods and green juices and green smoothies. Sometimes the best drug is elimination, where you eliminate certain foods that cause irritation to the gut lining, and just by eliminating it, you allow the gut to rest and you allow the human body to start healing automatically. So now we're going to talk about milk today, whether you should have it, whether you shouldn't have it. There are so many vegans out there. Let me make it very clear: a lot of vegans are not on milk, and a lot of vegans are still sick. So it's not about being a vegan, it's not about being extreme. You could have a little bit of milk in your diet. If it's not harming you, it's absolutely fine. We shouldn't be afraid of certain things and miss the underlying root cause of our problem. Today, everyone's just getting off gluten, getting off milk, and they're still not getting better, because that's not the underlying root cause for many, many people. Sometimes it's just a weak digestive system. Sometimes it's just that your overall diet is so deficient in nutrients and enzymes and vitamins and minerals that things like wheat and dairy then start to harm your system. So let's get straight into milk. There's one question that we need to think about. Our ancestors drank milk, and they never had disease like we have today. It was very, very rare for you to hear someone who was lactose intolerant. It was very rare to find someone, where milk created a problem with digestion, bloating, acidity, and all of that stuff. They drank milk. And today we have an issue with milk. So what's the problem with milk? The problem is the quality of milk that's changed over times. Our ancestors drank raw milk straight from the cow. Okay, and that raw milk today, there are countless of studies to show that it is the most powerful food on this planet. It has all the amino acids, all the enzymes, vitamins, minerals. It's a whole food by itself. Dietitians, nutritionists study this in college, that it is a class A protein, and it is. It is one of the best quality proteins that you can ever find. But what's gone wrong? Why are people intolerant to milk today? Now, we need to understand that about 50 years ago, a regular cow could produce 20,000 pounds of milk in a year. Today, a cow can produce 50,000 pounds of milk in a year. Now, how is that possible? The answer is in what they're feeding the cows. Be it vaccinations, be it estrogen, be it something called bovine growth hormones, be it antibiotics. Let's clearly understand this. So many of you have seen videos of animal cruelty and how cows are being made to produce more and more milk. We're going to omit the cruelty part because all of y'all are aware of that right now, but we're going to get more and more deeper into exactly how detrimental today's quality of milk is to the human body. So number one, you have so many cows and you have the supply and demand of milk. Milk is found in almost every processed food. Milk is used across the world, so you need a constant supply. There's a big demand for milk. So how do you get cows to produce more milk? Number one, you got to keep the cows free of disease and you got to keep them healthy. So they have vaccinations, they have antibiotics, because the way cows are bred and kept together, they are very susceptible to disease. So basically they're pumped with antibiotics so that they don't fall sick. And then you got to pump the cow with more estrogen to produce more milk. And then you got to pump the cow with something called bovine growth hormone. It's BGH. Google this and you'll be surprised and you will be shocked at the links that bovine growth hormones have with most tumors and most cancers. It's all out there. And that is in your milk. Whatever goes into the cow comes into their milk, and we consume that milk in any form it comes into our body, which explains today the reason why young girls are reaching puberty way before their age. Why? Estrogen. Estrogen is a growth hormone for females as well, for hormones. It makes them reach puberty way, way faster. Young girls are tending, I'm talking about at the age of 5 and 6, they're tending to, develop this abdominal fat. They're getting fat, body fat. And again, when you look at the diet of these young girls, it is rich in dairy and rich in milk. Anyway, I've made a list of diseases which I want to read out where we've cut out milk and dairy over the years, and we've seen a remarkable improvement in these conditions, ranging from diabetes to most cancers to arthritis to MS, multiple sclerosis, to leukemias, to ovarian cancers, to colic in children. Just cut down the milk. We're going to talk about substitutes for milk, and you see that the colic just disappears. But you look at the babies when you were a baby and your mom and dad were feeding you at that point, colic was unheard of. When there was colic, you usually, put a little bit of castor oil on the belly or a little bit of hing in the food around the belly, and the colic disappeared. But today, milk is the number one cause of this chronic colic cases in most children. Then you have sinuses. When you remove milk and dairy from people who have sinus and asthma, the improvement in their health is unbelievable by just removing dairy. And then you have IBS. Over the last year, the statistics are unbelievable. 50% of the antibiotics manufactured by pharmaceuticals go towards cows and go towards animals. So it's not just humans using antibiotics, it is also animals. These antibiotics that are fed to the cows are broad spectrum antibiotics. Now, what is a broad spectrum antibiotic? Broad spectrum. It means the antibiotic is so powerful, it goes into your body and it kills all of the bad bacteria, all of the possible pathogens and all the bacterial infections, and it also kills the good bacteria. So you have a very unhealthy cow giving you milk. And you may be thinking it's rich in nutrition, and like people say, oh, protein is rich in calcium and rich in protein and all of that stuff. It's the media that makes you believe that all that Tetra Pak milk coming into your home is rich in all of this stuff. Now we're going to take it a step further and understand how we've been fooled over the years. Like I said, raw milk is one of the healthiest foods in the world. Now, how long can raw milk last for? Raw milk will spoil. Actually, it won't spoil. It starts souring within 4 to 5 days. Within 4 to 5 days. The milk in your Tetra Pak, what's the shelf life? 3 months? Sometimes 4 months, sometimes even 6 months. Raw, pure milk will start souring within 3 to 4 days. And when it sours, it's actually healthier because there's a lot of probiotic and a lot of lactoferrin that naturally develops, and you have sour milk, which is actually a great probiotic for you. And then came along pasteurization and homogenization. Okay, and to fool us, they said, oh, now it's cleaner, hygienic milk because raw milk can make you sick. But the bacteria in raw milk is actually so healthy for you. So then pasteurization came in to make us believe that it's hygienic. Today, most of our sicknesses and most of our autoimmune disorders are caused because we are too clean. We are too clean. We use antimicrobial soaps, antimicrobial hand washes. We don't expose our children to mud and to playing in the gardens and all of that stuff. The moment we bring them in, we wash their hands with antimicrobials. We remove all the microbes and bacteria that is necessary for our gut health. And we've been fooled about living in this extra hygienic world, which has actually made us sicker and sicker. So we got fooled into believing that pasteurization is giving us clean milk. Yes, it is taking away a lot of bacteria, E. coli, and a lot of pus. Again, why does that come in? Because of the way the cows are treated. It's not because of the milk. So pasteurization made us believe that it's hygienic. Fine, great, hygienic milk. The second thing it did was it started improving the shelf life of milk, which is only what the food companies profit from. If milk is going to sour in 3 days, there's no profit in it. But if you can keep it in the supermarkets for 3 to 6 months, that's where all the profit is in. So what exactly is pasteurization? You heat the milk at a temperature where you can keep it at a shelf life of a very long time. Now, what happens in the heating period? You kill everything. You kill the enzymes, you denature the protein, you kill the vitamin C, you make the calcium insoluble in the human body. So the calcium coming from milk is doing nothing for your bones. You denature the phosphorus, you denature the magnesium. So what you're getting is clean milk that will not make you sick because it's clean, but nor will it give you the protein that you think you're getting, nor will it give you the calcium that you think you're getting. Look at America and India. I always use the example, the highest consumers of calcium and the highest consumers of milk and the highest numbers of people who have osteoporosis. Does it make sense? If we drink so much milk, we should have the lowest count of osteoporosis. We should have the lowest count of calcium deficiencies. We shouldn't have to be consuming calcium supplements like our doctors hand out like candy if we're in a country that drinks so much of milk. So let's understand pasteurization again. There are 2 amino acids which are very, very powerful in milk. You have lysine and tyrosine. The moment you pasteurize milk, you have killed and denatured these 2 amino acids. What are amino acids? Protein. So it's legal for the milk companies to tell you that your milk is rich in protein. But how much of that is bioavailable in the human body? And that's the scam, and that's the lie. If lysine and tyrosine, the 2 amino acids, which is great protein for you, is denatured, you're drinking a glass of white, toxic milk, which is just clean and hygienic. Okay, then you have the calcium, the vitamin C, the magnesium, and the phosphorus, which becomes denatured and useless in the human body. So you think you're getting calcium from milk, but calcium from milk, which is pasteurized, is insoluble in the human body. And it actually starts leaching more of the calcium from your bones. The quality of milk today makes you acidic. It makes your pH level acidic. And now because milk has made you acidic, to neutralize your pH level, your body starts leaching calcium from your bones. So your milk is actually leaching calcium from your bones, which is why when you look at all the children today with low birth rates, they can drink as much of milk as they want, but they will not put on weight because it does not contain that protein that milk usually has to help you have a healthy weight. It is denatured protein. Let's move straight into homogenization. So then why do you homogenize milk? Okay, so when they're milking cows today, everything is mechanical. Okay, the udder of the cow creates pus because of the abrasion of that steel pipe on the udder to extract milk. Okay, these cows are given minute electric shocks all the time to stimulate milk. If you go back to the olden days where you milked a cow, okay, the warmth of your hands around the udder of the cow stimulated the natural production of milk, and you would like have a bucket of milk. But today, it's that cold metal pipe that the udder fits into, and they have to stimulate it with electric shocks all the time. Now, there's pus that falls from the udder into your milk. That pus can cause serious diseases with you, but it's not. Why? Because they've developed a process of homogenization. Now, what does that do? They churn the milk at a very, very, very high speed and temperature. Okay, it breaks down all the macro fat globulin into smaller fat molecules. But what's happened is the good fat in milk is now changed to bad fat, which is why milk makes people fat today. Milk makes you get all that plump fat around your abdominal area, so you have estrogen making you fat, and you have the quality of the fat, which is really good quality fat in milk, now changed because of homogenization. So you have good fat in milk changed to bad fat. So the processing of milk, which is why everyone says processed milk is the worst for you. Let's go a step further. Why can't people digest milk today? Why are people all of a sudden saying, oh, I'm lactose intolerant? Lactose is found in milk. But when your milk is denatured because of heat, pasteurization and homogenization, number one, it kills all the digestive enzymes. Raw milk has digestive enzymes in. So when you consume it, those enzymes break down lactose into a soluble form that your body can absorb, which is why when you have raw milk, and we've done this test with so many people who are lactose intolerant, if we give them raw milk, their bodies can actually take raw milk, but it cannot take processed milk because it cannot break down lactose, because the processed milk has no digestive enzymes. Look at the beauty of nature. It's given you the enzymes to break down lactose, which is a sugar molecule, so it can be utilized by your body. But today when we process our food, that's why lactose converts into beta lactose, which the body cannot digest. And like I said today, there are many people who can consume milk without a problem, and there are many people who cannot. Now, in my experience, most people who cannot consume milk, unless they're born lactose intolerant, when you look at their diets are devoid of fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, raw food, everything that has raw enzymes in. So these people already have a body deficient in enzymes, and now you're putting in milk which has no enzymes and into a body that has no enzymes, and you can't break down lactose. So all of a sudden you're lactose intolerant, you blame the milk, which is right to blame, but you never really change your lifestyle and the way you're eating and your diet to make sure that your body has the right amount of digestive enzymes. So when you do raw milk, most people who do raw milk, a lot of people own cows in India and they have their own raw milk, you'll find that they have absolutely no issue. Their protein levels are fine, their calcium levels are fine, their D3 levels are fine. It's unbelievable how the milk that we're drinking has absolutely zero nutrition. So that's when people started coming up with fortified milks, which is another scam, and that requires a whole different video to talk about that. So again, lactose is intolerant because we don't have the digestive enzymes in our body or in the milk to help you break down lactose. So what about yogurt? Anyway, let's talk about the substitutes right now. Is almond milk and rice milk and hemp milk and cashew milk a substitute, or coconut milk? Absolutely not. It's a great option, but it cannot offer you the kind of protein, the class A protein that raw milk would have. So we need to start looking at getting protein from our natural forms of foods, and we need to start looking at getting calcium from our natural forms of foods. And what's that list of foods? If you have a balanced Indian diet, you would get enough of calcium and enough of protein. And first, let me tell you, in my whole line of experience, I don't think I've ever come across someone who has a protein deficiency, unless it's someone going through a serious disease like cancer or something where there's a muscle atrophy or something like that. Very few cases of a protein deficiency. Let's talk about a calcium deficiency. We all assume that we're low on calcium, but when you do a calcium test, usually the range is 8 to 10, and it is very, very rare to find someone who is below 8. So we live in this world which is induced by fear and has made us believe that we have a calcium deficiency, whereas it is acidity and inflammation that is making our bones weaker and weaker, which is bringing on osteoporosis, rheumatoid arthritis, joint pains, and all of that stuff. You can keep popping calcium. It will not sort your problem. The root cause is acidity. And why are we acidic? Because calcium is being leached from our bones because of, how acidic our bodies are. Milk, the number one cause. We have sesame seeds, one of the richest sources of calcium. We have poppy seeds in India, also known as khaskhas, which is one of the richest sources of calcium. Then you have your lentils, you have your beans, you have your black-eyed peas, you have your white beans. You have your green leafy vegetables, you have your amaranth, you have your figs, you have your almonds, your walnuts, you have your carrots, you have your broccoli, you have your sweet potato, you have oranges. I mean, like I said, if you have a normal balanced Indian diet, you will have enough of calcium. But when we need more calcium, it's because our body's leaching calcium. So we go and we plug the hole from where calcium is being leached. We don't just start taking more calcium supplements without plugging the hole. We start having a more alkaline diet, we reduce our acidity, and automatically we have enough of calcium from normal foods to keep us healthy. It's as simple as that. What about yogurt? Now, there's a big difference in yogurt because when milk is fermented, it changes the molecular structure. There's something called lactoferrin, which is a great probiotic, which is why we all know curd is a great probiotic for us. So it actually changes the composition and it is more digestible. So you'll see a lot of people are lactose intolerant, but they can have yogurt. Okay? So I've explained to you, I'm not here to tell you to give up milk completely. I'm here to tell you to be aware. So if you suffer from any of those diseases, or you really, really want to make this lifestyle where you really, really start getting healthy, it's your choice to give up dairy. A lot of people have yogurt and chas and buttermilk, which is also great because it's a fantastic probiotic. But try to get a good source of milk. Try to get a great source of milk and make your own yogurt. Now again, if you have to give up dairy, there are so many people who are born lactose intolerant. They don't suffer. They just eat a diet that's rich in calcium from other sources and protein from other sources. Yes, milk has class A proteins, but not your commercial milk anymore today. Like I told you, it's a glass of white poison that you're drinking. All those antibiotics, vaccinations, estrogen, everything, bovine growth hormones. And that's why I tell you the whole purpose of this call was actually to tell people who are suffering from diseases, if you really want to start healing, you got to get off dairy. You have to get off dairy because dairy is making your body more and more inflamed, and inflammation is the root cause of most diseases today. It is not cholesterol that kills you. It is not cholesterol that makes you get a heart attack. It is inflammation, which is why statins is the next biggest scam, and we're going to talk about that very, very soon. So the whole idea is awareness, and people, we need to start making these changes. Like, am I dairy free? No. I like to have a little bit of milk in my tea. I like to have a little bit of milk in my dessert. I'm not going to go dairy free, but I am aware of how bad it is. So I'm going to make sure that it is at the minimum level in my life. And I am going to have almond milk and cashew milk and all of these things, but I'm going to make very, very, very sure that I don't have milk as my primary source of protein and calcium in my diet. So it's a personal choice. I'm not going to make that decision for you. You look at your lifestyle. You look at, the kind of health problems that you may have or your vision, and you make that decision for you. But this is the truth about milk. We're living in a corrupt world. We are living in a world where the food lobbies are more powerful than the government, more powerful than the presidents and prime ministers of every country. Okay? And those food lobbies have a budget to make you believe, to spend on marketing, billions of dollars on marketing, to make you believe why you should drink all of these foods, why you should eat all of these processed foods. That's how you sell a food. How do you sell a food? By making people believe that it's healthy for you, by driving it through doctors and everyone else. Like in nutrition college, we studied that milk is the healthiest protein as well. And it is. It's the healthiest food, but not today when it goes through all this processing. So that's the truth about milk. It's up to you now to really, really look. I mean, that Tetra Pak of milk in your kitchen is absolutely useless. So yes, that's why I encourage mothers to breastfeed as much as you can. As much as you can. I mean, that's what you should really, really do, because no food in the world can build immunity for your child or your infant more than breast milk. No matter what the big companies tell you about their formula milk and all of that stuff, you can just believe that that's plain bullshit. Even formula milk of the top companies in the world that make milk in our country have IG hormones. IG hormones are pumped into cows. You just got to Google IG hormones and you probably wouldn't even want to feed your child that kind of milk. So yes, many of us may not be in the position to make that kind of a choice, but reduce your milk. And when you give your child a diet rich in green leafy vegetables, nuts, seeds, all of this stuff, and you reduce their junk and sugar, because junk and sugar makes you acidic and leaches calcium from your body, you don't really have to give your child a calcium-rich diet or a protein-rich diet. What you need to give your child and yourself is a balanced diet. When you eat a balanced diet, you get a small quantity of calcium and protein, which your body needs to survive, to grow, and to be healthy. But when we're leaching calcium and protein because of our lifestyle and all the junk food, that's when you need to keep on adding all of these supplements and all of these fortified foods. So plug the hole, and your basic, natural, wholesome food is going to be enough for you. Have a great Sunday, everyone. Have a great week next week. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep. Don't live in fear. Don't be confused. This is to create awareness for you. All of us have that one button in us. It's called the reset button. Hit that reset button. Sit back and analyze. How can I make my lifestyle healthier for me and for my kid? What are these foods I can now bring into my family, make a culture change, and reduce the amount of milk that I have? And any doctor out there who tells you that milk is the way for calcium and protein, I mean, ask them the right questions. Don't be afraid of anyone. Don't be afraid of nutritionists, doctors, healers, practitioners. You have the right as a citizen to get every answer from them. It's your body. It's their life. They owe it to you. We all take an oath. We all take an oath to heal and to help and to reduce discomfort and to reduce pain. It is our job to give you answers and logic. So we should never be in fear of why. Ask them, yeah, what's the quality of milk? It's got estrogen, this, and no one can deny that. So why are you making me feed my child something that has poison in? And there are enough of options out there where you can have a healthy life without all of this stuff in your life. Make the decision. Start making lifestyle changes. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.